Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going nowhere because she didn't think she deserved to go anywhere. Hey, this is Robbin and welcome to Creative Freedom, your dose of inspiration and education to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life without selling your soul. And today we're going to talk about under-earning. Bam! There! I said it. Creative entrepreneurs of all stripes face the potential for under-earning. But what is it exactly? And more importantly, how do you get past it and start earning what you're really worth? Well, first, let's look at what Barbara Stanny says. She's the author of the book, Overcoming Under-Earning, and this book is great at helping you navigate the complex, crippling, heartbreaking world of under-earning. Now, in it, she states that money is a metaphor, and under-earning is a symptom. But a symptom of what? Now, brace yourself for something you probably already know. Under-earning is a symptom of a perceived lack of self-worth or an absence of self-love. That's kind of deep, and it manifests differently for different people. But before we go there, how do you know for sure you're really under-earning versus being in a slump or making a conscious choice to live on less? Well, here's what Under-Earners Anonymous has to say, and yes, there really is such a thing. These are just a few of the signs that you might be a chronic under-earner. Number one, although you've demonstrated competence in your job or your business and you clearly know your stuff, you're still driven by a need to reprove your worth and your value. Number two, you habitually overwork, get exhausted or sick, and then you have to stop working. Number three, you compulsively volunteer for various causes or give away your services without charge when there is no clear benefit. And we have talked before about being too generous. You give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. These are just a few of the signs. These are my favorites. You can check out my website for a link to the full list. So why am I on this kick about under-earning? Two reasons. One, as a creative entrepreneur, it is incredibly easy to get caught up in giving your gifts away, giving your time, your energy, your attention, your life away for the benefit of others. When the reality is you're not doing anybody any favors by not making yourself a priority. Number two, I know this because I have traveled this road myself. For many years, I barely subsisted with a poverty-level income, even though I was helping best-selling authors create multiple six figures in revenue. How was it that I could help them and not help myself? I had to take a closer look at my under-earning situation, and what I found was actually another issue, the real root cause of my under-earning. I had a success ceiling. I had subconsciously put a cap on what I could accept for success. Now, in his book, The Big Leap, Gay Hendricks calls this an upper limit problem. Think of it like a thermostat. They're designed to keep the room at a static temperature. If it gets too cold, the heat kicks on. If it gets too hot, the AC cools things down. And this was happening in my life and my work without me even realizing it. When money got tight, I would ramp up my marketing, make more offers, and generally turn up the heat in my business. Then things would get comfortable. And when things got too good to be true, I would back off, I would do less, I would get bored, or I would make up some other excuse about why I wasn't doing as much in running my business. Now, as a result, things would then slow down again. And I was caught up in the throes of this feast or famine cycle from which I didn't know how to escape. It wasn't until I looked at my sense of self-worth that I saw the problem. And actually, I didn't do it by myself. My coach helped me tremendously. It was the day I held $32 million in my hot little hands. I was in her workshop, and mixed in with about $700 of legal tender, there was a stack of million-dollar bills. Now, my sole job was to hold on to the money during one of our breaks, which I did, and I was so relieved when the break was over and I was able to give the money back that, of course, my coach wanted to know why. So she had me hold on to the money a little bit longer and move around the room with it and interact with people and eventually take the money outside into the windy Minnesota breeze and hold it high up over my head. I was nearly paralyzed by the fear of losing all that money. In my head, I just knew it was all going to blow away and I was going to be on the hook for millions of dollars in everyone else's cash. Now the funny thing is, there was only about $700 in legal tender, but my brain was thinking about the millions of dollars that would be lost if something happened. Your mind is an incredible tool for change when you put it to good use. Through this exercise, I learned I didn't believe I was capable of being responsible for hundreds of thousands of dollars, let alone millions of dollars. That was a big eye-opener for me. But just opening my eyes, that was just the beginning. You can have an awareness of something and still not do anything about it. For example, I am aware of the fly that's in the room right now, but you don't see me running to go get my fly swatter. There's a difference between awareness and action. I saw at least part of my under-earning issue was directly related to this belief I had that said I wasn't capable of being responsible for that kind of money. So, how do you shift the belief? That's the real question. How do you go from believing you're not capable to believing you are capable? Now, for most people, it requires more than just changing your mind. It requires raising your threshold of belief, raising or completely removing the success ceiling that you've created for yourself. So you reset the thermostat to this new setting. Now for me, it was recognizing that I was more than capable. I had worked with many brilliant minds. I was trained as a financial advisor. I helped plenty of people make plenty of money and handle their millions, so I knew it was possible for me too. I just had to shift and make that money mine. That awareness allowed me to reset the thermostat. But, just like a real thermostat, you can't just adjust it and expect that the temperature is going to instantly change. Poof, it's hot now. It takes time for the heat to kick on and warm things up. In the meantime, you're still probably going to be a little uncomfortable as you adjust to the new temperature. Also, at our house, my son likes it chillier than the rest of us, so whenever he comes home, you can bet that his first stop is at the thermostat. So just like a real thermostat, you need to be vigilant about maintaining your new setting. Otherwise, you may find people keep trying to change the setting on you. And it's probably not because they want to see you fail or they want to keep you stuck in an under-earning space. It's more likely that, like my teenager, they're just not comfortable with your settings. And so they've got to learn to adjust, just like you've got to learn to adjust. So take a cue from my sister, who didn't force other people to live at her level and still learned how to take care of her own needs. Here's what happened. My sister lived in Arizona for many years, where the temperatures are regularly up over 100 degrees. One summer, she came home to visit us in Michigan, and she wore a sweatshirt the entire time, even though the temperatures were in the high 80s. Why? Her body had adjusted to the warmer temperatures of Arizona, and she felt cold. So instead of asking us to turn the heat on, which would have been ridiculous, she wore a sweatshirt so that she could be comfortable without making the rest of us uncomfortable. She believed in her own worth enough to take care of herself, and the same applies to all of us. You've got to take care of yourself and keep believing that you are worthy of the changes that you're making and hold yourself to it, just like one of my favorite Journey songs. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Change happens, and getting past under-earning is serious stuff. People are going to get uncomfortable. And Stanley says you need to get used to the idea of being uncomfortable during this transition and stay vigilant. Otherwise, it's easy to backslide and go back to a place where you're under-earning again. Now, while I agree that under-earning is a problem, it also has benefits, which is why so many under-earners keep under-earning. Until you can see how those benefits are actually holding your thermostat down, you're not going to change, or you're going to be very hard-pressed to. For me, continuing to under-earn meant that someone else, namely my husband, was responsible for my financial security. It was an illusion, but it made me feel good until I recognized how much of my life I had to put on hold just because my husband didn't make enough money to live the life that I wanted. In fact, I couldn't begin to live my own life until I was earning what I was truly worth in the marketplace. It was a big eye-opener for me. Now, That said, I will offer this one caveat about that whole idea of earning what you're worth. You are priceless, so you can never really earn what you're worth. But you can make an income that is commensurate with the value that you bring to the marketplace. And in that respect, you can definitely earn what you're worth. So now let me hear from you. Have you struggled with under-earning? What are you doing to adjust your thermostat and stay vigilant? Share your stories and your ideas in the comments, and let's be a rising tide for everyone to end the cycle of under-earning. If you like this video and want to be the first to see more just like it, then subscribe to my channel and share me around with your friends, because I'm worth it, you're worth it, and they're worth it too. And there's always more where this came from. For inspiring songs, stories, and resources to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life without selling your soul, come see what's shaking over at LisaRobbinYoung.com. You know you want to.